Boondoggs Outdoor Adventures here. Right now I'm going to do, it's a little early in the season for it, but how to get the tractor started in cold weather. As we know, this is a Ford 9N, and it's a great all-around tractor for homesteading, for farming and so on. Has a lot of attachments to go to it, a lot of versatility, and during the 1930s and 1920s through the Depression time, in the small farms, the small family farms, this was the workhorse that got the people through, and they last forever. They're just fantastic tractors, but they do have great issues starting in the winter time. Now, some of the things you can do to get it started, you can take the heater and stick it in where the gear is, right down in there, to heat it up so it spins easier. Of course, take some lighter weight oil in the winter time. What I did, I got a really big battery from the junkyard, good cranking battery, threw that bad boy in there, make sure it's nice and charged, put really good spark plugs in it. I actually I put a little excess here, I brazed it in so I can put ether that can go directly into the carburetor. And here's another secret: 93 octane in the winter. See, the gas doesn't atomize well when it gets below 20 degrees. So if you get the 93 octane instead of the low 87 octane and so on, you can it'll work a lot. It'll atomize a lot better and ignite a lot better at lower temperatures. I think there's a deer over there watching the show. But anyway, also, if you can't get it started, if you can have it in a heated place, of course that helps. I've jump started these things a million times, but the main thing what I did was converting it from 6 volts to 12 volts. I had to change the generator and put an alternator on it, and it kind of makeshifted it on there. It's not the greatest thing. Of course, when you change it from 6 volts to 12 volts, you got to change the lights. But you can use the same starter. You can use the same 6 volt starter. But that's all you got to do is change the alternator from the generator to alternate lights. But also the ends have trouble in the summertime starting after they're warmed up. Once you convert to 12 volts, it starts fine after it's been warmed up in the summertime. So that helps that. But I love this tractor. I'm partial to it, but it works great. Like I said, I was having difficulty starting in the winter. It just didn't seem to be working at all, and now it starts pretty good. And another thing I do is I start it every few days. Don't leave it, leave it for a week and then try and start it. Sometimes I'll pull the spark plugs out, spray a little ether in each spark plug, not a lot, because I guess you can blow the whole thing but I'll back off the spark plugs, spray just a touch of ether in there before it gets going. And sometimes too, to make it draw air better, right inside underneath the battery where the air intake screen is, I'll plug that up so it gets more drawn air, and I'll just cover it while I'm trying to start it so it sucks the gas into the engine more for it's better so it starts. And of course, every tractor has their own little quirks. You got to learn the quirks that it has. Like this one, I started at like 3/4 full on the throttle. Of course, make sure the ignition's on. I always turn the gas off on the gas cock every time, because the gas will just drain out or it'll flood the carburetor. And then I open the gas, and in cold weather it should start every time. Of course, it's not too cold right now. This one I got to flutter a little bit gotta flutter it a little bit when it gets cold until it warms up. And sometimes turn it off here, sometimes the pneumatics don't work in the back when it's really cold out because there's moisture in with the so that helps with the heater. When you put the heater inside there, you can buy them at Tractor Supply or whatever to heat up the inside and make sure it's nice and warm. Maybe even put some heat underneath there, and non-flammable, so the gas doesn't catch on fire. But just all those things, just a bunch of pointers, and I hope some of those will work for you.